Well, there's a lot happening in the world of politics right now here in Illinois and globally. And North Central College political science professor Bill Muck is joining us now live. Bill, thanks for being with us. We have a lot we want to cover, so we're glad to have your insight here. Let's start with Adam Kinzinger. Not running for re-election after 6 terms in Congress here. Is this purely a function of the new congressional maps? He sounded pretty fed up with the way politics has turned out in his video this morning.
Yeah, it's a pretty dramatic development, but it's not entirely surprising. So Kinzinger has been getting hit from the right, from Donald Trump for months now, making his life more difficult. And then when the Democrats came out with the new redistricting map, it was pretty clear that it was going to be difficult for him to get reelected. So the Democrats have reduced the number of competitive Republican seats. He knew he was going to be running against another incumbent. So it becomes really, really difficult for somebody like Kinzinger, who's getting hammered from the right and he's getting hammered from the left. So it was probably the right time for him to step away and then reevaluate where he wants to be in the future.
As you suggested, he was one of the few GOP voices to go up against former President Trump here, even though as a member of Congress, he did support more than 90% of his policies here. What do you think is going to be the future for Kinzinger?
Well, it's really difficult because there's been rumors of whether he wants to run for governor or senator, but even that's difficult, right? He's a Republican running in a largely Democratic state. He may be the favorite Republican of a lot of Democrats, but that doesn't mean you can get elected governor. My sense is he's probably going to pull away for a while, and he has to hope that the Republican Party comes back to him. Right now, Donald Trump has an iron grip on the Republican Party, and it's difficult to have any space between you and Trump. So I think he's a young guy. He'll step away and see how politics changes and see if, 5-10 years from now, the party has returned to him.
That does seem like a long way off. Let's talk more about those congressional maps. They were passed by the Illinois House and Senate late last night here. The 4th version of these maps here, drawn up by the Democrats, the party in control. What do you think this does, the makeup does to Illinois' voice in Washington?
Well, it cements Democratic control, and probably for a long time. We might be talking about 10 years of seeing Democratic control. So Illinois shrunk from 18 to 17 seats, but the Democrats are going to likely gain 1 extra seat. So they'll have 1 more representative than they did before. It's obviously people talk about this as gerrymandering, and it most certainly is. But you see this across the country, especially in states that have unilateral control of the legislature. So you're seeing a lot of, I think there are like 22 states that are controlled by the Republicans that are doing this. 9 states that are controlled entirely by the Democrats. And what they do is they structure the game so it's going to help them win. And, on one level, it's sort of frustrating because you want to see democracy play out in a more fair way. But this is what parties do to try to maintain their control of the political system. And what's happening in Illinois is not surprising in that sense.
One Republican senator said that was quoted as saying it throws gasoline on that already lit fire of cynicism. You think that's a fair assessment?
I think it is, right? And we've had a lot of conversation about what's happening in sort of southern Republican states who are doing this. There's a lot of conversation about Wisconsin where that's played out and been gerrymandered over the years. And we're seeing the same thing in Illinois, just by a different party. So it's frustrating, but our politics has been nationalized, right? Everything is about the national level. And so a state like Illinois, they have to try to increase as many Democratic representatives as they can so that they can maintain control of the House. I mean, this is all one big national game that we're seeing playing out at all the different state levels.
Well, I've got you here. Let's broaden the picture here. President Biden and the G20 meeting in Rome, and then the climate summit in a few days in Scotland here. Can you tell us some of the specific goals that you'll be watching?
So the big thing coming out of the climate summit is whether we can see some more progress at the international level. So you've got just under 200 states coming together, trying to make progress on the Paris Climate Accord, states coming up with their own reductions. And I think the need is really there. You're seeing states realizing that climate change is having an immediate effect. The climate scientists say that, we've got 20 or 30 years before we're really past the point of really, really challenging situations. So my hope, or what I'm looking for, is to see whether states can actually come together. And in particular, the United States and China. Nothing else happens unless those 2 states get on board and decide they want to drive a multilateral agreement.
That's what I was going to ask you about, U.S., China, and India. We are out of time. North Central College political professor Bill Muck, thanks for joining us tonight. We appreciate it.
Always good to chat with you.
You too.